Thousands of people in Britain say they feel trapped in unsafe homes. 4 years on from the fatal Grenfell Tower fire in West London, UK lawmakers are trying to offer better protection to residents, promising new rights and new building safety guidelines. But some say proposed legislation doesn't go far enough. Chris Jones reports.
The impact of the Grenfell disaster still lingers in the hearts and minds of the family and friends of the 72 that died in June 2017. Across the UK, there are buildings just like the Grenfell Tower that still have dangerous flammable cladding. Since the disaster, leaseholders like Ritu Saha have been paying thousands to make the buildings they live in safer, bound by lease agreements that require them to contribute to the cost of remedial works. She thought she'd moved into her dream home when she bought her apartment in 2015, but it soon became a nightmare.
Unfortunately, it turned out that our building had the same sort of cladding as Grenfell Tower. In the course of investigations, we also found out that other fire safety measures, which are called fire barriers or fire breaks, that are supposed to be there within the walls of a building so that the fire does not spread rapidly, those were missing as well.
Since that moment, Ritu has been drowning in bills to replace the dangerous cladding. Now the building she lives in is left almost completely bare, apart from one piece of cladding that she showed me on the balcony of her 10th floor flat.
As you can see, this wall is covered in ACM cladding. If they take away the cladding, my flat doesn't have a wall. But on the other hand, if there was a fire and this panel was on fire, I would basically be having to run past a wall of fire to get to the emergency exit. So it's incredibly scary and incredibly dangerous.
Hundreds of thousands of leaseholders are living in unsafe buildings across the UK right now, making them impossible to sell.
But the UK government has set out legislation to combat some of these issues. The Building Safety Bill's aim is to make sure that any future building is constructed safely and gives leaseholders more rights and protections to ensure that a disaster like Grenfell never happens again.
The Ministry for Housing says that the bill also comes with an investment of £5 billion to remove unsafe cladding on the highest risk buildings, work that will be carried out by the government. It also says that it's taking the approach to protect leaseholders and to be fair to taxpayers.
Today marks the next significant step on our path to a robust but proportionate building safety regime. A regime that delivers high standards of safety for people's homes, particularly those which are high-rise, whilst providing reassurance to leaseholders, to residents and the market that the vast majority of homes in this country are safe.
But whilst the bill may provide a small step forward, many say the bill doesn't go far enough.
When you then really go into the detail, they're looking, and they've admitted it in the supplementary notes, that only an expert would find, basically that leaseholders' overall living or housing costs will go up between 2 to 4 billion.
For leaseholders like Ritu, that means more inescapable and unaffordable bills through her door.
I feel completely trapped. The average length of a prison sentence in the UK is 18 months. The government has trapped me in my home for 3.5 years. I'm being treated worse than an actual criminal.
She's hoping government legislation will free her of this burden, but for her and thousands of others, their future remains uncertain. Chris Jones, CNA, London.